I watched this yesterday, segment 2 and 3. Very well played match so far, but I think it's fair to say that Lady Luck has been on USA's side in certain situations.
What examples were there of that yesterday then?
Well, for example, that they made a slam with queen to 3 spades opposite 3 small. Well, the opponents couldn't take their tricks because one had king 10 to 6 and the other one ace singleton. But if they had let a spade, the contract would still go down. The carer would lose a second spade. But when they didn't, the man with king 10 to 6 was on lead. He didn't lead a spade. When he didn't, the carer could make the contract. Well, it's absolutely fantastic. He had to take a double finesse in hearts, and then in the end game, after stripping, you know, hearts, clubs, he was in the 6 clubs, stripping hearts and diamonds, he would have to, you know, play a low spade from both hands.
Yeah, for a rough and discard. Well, unbelievably lucky.
Yeah.
Gosh, and they're only 6 up, and that must have been at least 20 imps worth of absurd luck. Anyway, never mind, that happens. So very, very long matches. And here they go, and 2 no trumps, as is common, shows sound raise with 4-card trump support.
Yes, we also have to remember that one heart is limited to 15 high-card points. East-West are non-vulnerable, and they play precision when non-vulnerable. Very early and good morning to Adam Parrish. Hello, Adam.
Good morning, guys.
Hi. South didn't have enough to press on with a double, just 15. Partner would have bid 3 spades in the pass-out seat if he didn't have very much, no doubt, and had some sort of spade fit. Now, you see, one of the main reasons for leading a trump, which is generally a pretty awful lead, is that you don't fancy the lead in any of the side suits, and that's exactly the case with Stefanov here. Doesn't want to lead from any of those holdings, certainly not the spades and the diamonds, and even the club is a bit risky from the queen. So he's led a trump just because he doesn't like the side suits, and that's the most common reason for leading a trump, which is generally a poor lead, as I see it.
Yes. Did you never have a partner who had queen to 3, David, in this situation, where you set up a finesse against him? Has happened to me, you know.
Well, of course that's possible, but the risks are much higher in the other suits, and in any case, seeing as you've shown 5 spades to 2, the odds would favour declare it a finesse partner for the queen anyway.
Let's see, there's not a lot in it here anyway. North-South can make a part score in diamonds. How about 3 hearts? Because I must lose 2 spades, 2 diamonds. And on the surface, he only has 4 losers. However, he doesn't have 9 tricks. Now, he will have to score them by setting up the clubs. But can he do all that when hearts are 3-1? I don't think so. I think it's a trick short.
Yes, it's not so easy to ruff two spades because you also need to ruff a diamond.
Yeah, he's got an awful lot of work to do, and that trump lead certainly didn't help.
You see, setting up the clubs would involve using the trump entries to dummy, and of course he wants those trumps to be taking ruffs of spades and diamonds, so they're both pulling in different directions, those lines of play.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to play along dummy reversal lines, trying to set up the dummy, but he doesn't have the entries to do it.
Even trying to take any ruffs in the dummy is going to be tricky because he has to give up tricks in spades or diamonds, and North can then pursue partner's successful opening trump lead by playing further trumps. So it doesn't look too good, but against that they have an easy part score and he's only going off in 50s, so he can be well happy having bought the contract in a 9-card fit in 3 hearts. See, against 3 diamonds that East could score 2 club ruffs as long as he leads the singleton to leave the ace of hearts as an entry for the second ruff. Singletons are very good leads. In the main they're almost as good as an ace-king lead from the side suit, and when you happen to have both in one hand it still can work out best to lead your singleton, because if partner can give you a ruff you then perhaps have the option of underleading the ace-king to cross over to the queen for another ruff if you judge that that risk is necessary.
I think we are at the kill point here. I think the queen of diamonds was a good play, but I also think that North will have to overtake. Do you see what happens if he doesn't? What is Seth supposed to do next? Look here, there's an end play looming if North doesn't overtake here.
Of course, South may have been worried that East had the king of diamonds. He might have done, because it wasn't easy for him to cross over to dummy probably without spoiling his general plan to lead towards the king. But still, some players might have played low, thinking that they would need partner to have the king of diamonds to break it.
Well, if he wasn't sure where the king of diamonds was before, he is now after this little think here by North. He'll have no problem docking the next time.
Well, true. That is unauthorized information, obviously. But North is allowed to think. Yes, sure. So he reveals that he has the king of diamonds, or the ace from Declarer's point of view. South could have king-queen, which is unlikely, I would say, when he leads a trump rather than the king of diamonds. So it's probably ace-queen.
The reason that North has a chance for finding the overtake is that he has the 10 and he can see the jack is going to drop. So if his partner has ace-queen, then there's no risk involved in overtaking. So it's good news. Well played, well played. That's good.
Well, this was not so good, because now we are in a similar situation. It looked like it needed a spade switch from the North's hand, but now see what happens now. What can South do?
What was better, a trump back? Is that what they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes,
they needed?
absolutely a trump
Yeah.
back. Yes.
Yeah, that was a tough position for North to figure out, A, whether he needed to overtake, and B, what to play back.
Now you see, all of a sudden the 9 of spades comes into play. What do you suggest South does now? Well, he can cash another top spade, and then what?
Well, he's okay for the moment because he can play a diamond.
But now I have 9 tricks on cross rough. Won't I score all 6 trump tricks now?
Perhaps that was the fault of not allowing his partner in before. I don't know. Oh no, partner overtook. Yeah. So it was the fault of North's return then.
He only needs 1 low rough, isn't that right? He just needs to score the 2 of hearts. Now they can't prevent him because North can never get in again to play trumps.
Well, that's right. I mean, that's why North needed to play another trump as it happens, but it wasn't at all easy for him to see that.
Or maybe not the 10 of spades, David, because they might be able to defeat it if he played the 10 of spades.
Yeah, so you see here, South underled in spades, hoping to get his partner in, hoping he had led from 10-9, because he knew they needed that trump switch.
It's a great hand.
If he lead,
it's a wonderful hand.
if North leads the 5 of spades, then East doesn't have to put the king up. They just cover with the 9.
Well, now he's going to make
Yeah,
10 tricks.
Yeah, I think it took a trump continuation rather than a spade switch. Now in the other room, but it's played by West.
They got off to the trump lead from North.
Yeah. But did you go through the play, Adam, to see what happened after that?
I didn't look at it too closely.
The thing was that Declarer, at trick 2, he won in hand. At trick 2, he advanced the 10 of clubs and let North score the king. And then another trump, and the contract was down. Could have been defeated here as well, yes.
Yeah, there's no way for him to avoid North getting in to lead another trump. It's either coming in clubs or diamonds. So.
So again, they're playing
for USA.
Still playing precision club, being non-vulnerable.
Yes.
16 and 6 is 22, so looks like that maybe they're opening 2-no trumps on 2021. This will be a 2-no trump rebid.
Yes, I went through the play again in this room on board 17, and indeed North would have to overtake and the Queen Diamond, as he did. But it with the club position, Adam, isn't it just great? Actually, you can't really lose more than 4 hearts and a diamond, can you? Then you have enough tricks.
Yeah, I guess with that magic Queen Jack of clubs, this is going to come home. Because that Queen Jack of clubs not only gives him 4 club tricks, but it more importantly gives him a dummy entry, so he can take the diamond finesse.
Well, yes, that's true. However, that would only give him 3 diamond tricks anyway, wouldn't it? I mean, he wouldn't get to the 4th club. There's 4th diamond in dummy. The 6 of clubs is not an entry. If dummy had the 9 of clubs, then, well, you see, well, 8 tricks I can see. Absolutely right. And as the cards lie, he will make an over trick. But wait a second, would they not have 5 tricks before? If you play diamonds from hand, surely they had 4 hearts and 1 diamond.
Yeah, Queen of Diamonds from hand is certainly an attractive play.
Really aggravating when your contract is about, I don't know, some tiny percentage chance, and it's there with Queen Jack doubles and a very, very low percentage, and you don't take advantage of it. don't just need that, you need the diamond finesse right too, so it's probably sort of 5% chance.
So I'm guessing that North gave away the lead of the King of Diamonds at trick 4 when Moss played the Queen of Diamonds. He must have thought about it for a little bit.
Probably.
Well, I don't see why de Clare didn't run a that loser. He still had 4 clubs, 2 diamonds and 2 aces.
Well, South could have had 6 hearts.
So what? I mean, he played a low diamond to the Queen anyway, and he would go down if the King was wrong, and the guy had 6 hearts.
Well, that's true.
And non-vulnerable, he might have overcalled 1 club with 6 hearts as well. So the Bulgarians are playing different ranges of no trump. This position is 14 to 16, but it can be as low as 10 to 12 favourable and 11 to 13 non-vulnerable in the first 2 seats.
Right. And this cost a trick, obviously. Turned out that the spade would have been better. What did you say yesterday, David, about leading from King Jack to 4? But was that against the suit contract? That is very unattractive.
Yes, it's mainly against a suit contract, yes. So here it's a sort of toss-up which suits you lead, and of course looks obvious when partner's got ace-queen to lead the spade. There's a hand in some major match, don't know if it was a final or not, where Boja Brugeland had 2 suits to choose from. And he didn't lead from the King Jack to 4, he led from a passive lead from 4 low. And it cost him the match. and everyone was saying, oh God, he's meant to be a good player, look, king check to 4, he doesn't lead it. But he wrote to me and I ran a simulation and his lead was better in the long run, as we might have expected just looking at the hand.
Now how should declare a play here? Should you play on clubs or should you play on hearts? Well, of course, if clubs break, then it's better to play on clubs. But they may be 4-1, you know, and then there's no time maybe to recover. So I think it's actually best to play on hearts first. Provided that spades are not 5-3. They could be. I mean, East could have 3 spades and find the spade switch now, which he did.
I think I would have ducked a club.
Spade switch is totally obvious once declarer shows up with ace king of diamonds and presumably king queen of hearts. So most unlikely that he hasn't got any club honour, and both the, well, he couldn't have both the spade honours, could he? That would be too much. It would be an 18 count.
Well, he's decided to play on hearts. In the other room, the lead was a passive 10 of clubs. That ran to the ace, and declarer continued clubs to West queen.
Yes, he was safe, wasn't he? Because if the lead was from queen 10 9x, East would have to split to stop the declarer finessing. Bulgaria started off well in this match, but 6 sets 16 is pretty long, and the English women were 60 up after 2 sets. Then they had a pretty awful third set, dropped 30 imps, so you can see that you can seesaw backwards and forwards.
Yeah, and that dropped another 6 after 2 boards, David. Sorry, but that's how it is. So the England lead is only 24 now. It was 21 actually at some point in the third set yesterday.
Yeah, they ended up with something like a 3 and a 5 near the end.
And the lead for France is now over 100. They're getting another 10, and I think they're 102 ahead. Yes. So this may not go the distance, that match. Although on the other hand, I mean, you're in a Bermuda Bowl semi-final. Are you going to concede? I mean, traveling all the way from New Zealand to France, are you not going to play all boards? I don't know. You don't have to.
I think they will concede, yeah. They'll probably play 5 sets.
Did we find out, by the way, if there is a playoff for the bronze medal? I believe there was, but I haven't read the conditions of contest after that. But I think, Adam, was it when you were there yesterday, then we say, well, probably there will be just a shorter match.
I assume so, but I haven't seen anything official.
Of course there should be. Well, there's no reason on earth to go showering bronze medals around saying, oh, they're so disappointed at having lost. How ridiculous. A World Championship medal, of course, has to be fought for. I mean, the England team in the Bermuda Bowl lost on the last board of the semi-final when they were in the lead, and then made a mistake, and they then had to play for the bronze, and they lost that on the last board and didn't get a medal, so don't see why they would have changed the conditions.
No, but you know, if you look at other sports, it's common not to play another match and award bronze medals to both losing semi-finalists. Badminton is one example.
Boxing.
So the schedule lists Thursday and Friday as the final and playoff. So I assume that means the bronze medal match.
Hooray.
Yes, but by the looks of it, they're not going to broadcast from the playoff, because on the scheduled page I see Bermuda Bowl final and national quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. But
well,
I could be
the
wrong.
broadcasting is separate anyway. This isn't a spectator sport. It's very lucky, thanks to BBO, that we can enjoy it, but I mean the event itself is the main thing. Right, well, North has shown us sound raise in clubs, and he's only just about got enough to do that. 4 low and an ace king.
A lot
So I
of bidding
think
here from everyone, with everyone vulnerable.
yeah, Moss was guessing really. I thought he'd done okay. To bid 3 diamonds over 2 hearts would be too much, because you don't know that West has both the unbid suits. But he didn't want to sell out to what he knew was a very good fit in clubs, could see that 110, 130 was going to be conceded, as it looked to him. So he took a risk to bid 3 diamonds, hoping partner would have some support, and of course if he had 6 spades he's got the option of shifting to that suit, which may have worked out better as the cards lay. Don't know.
Yeah, you can see here Grew and Moss are surprisingly sound preemptors. This would be a clear preempt for a lot of, especially the younger American pairs.
Really? Vulnerable? Yeah, I believe you.
Absolutely.
It would be for me, by the way. But it's because I play a weak week too, and a constructive week too.
Yesterday we were watching the other semi-final, and one pair, I think it was New Zealand. Anyway, even vulnerable, they were playing a split range on the week 2, using both the multi and 2 hearts and 2 spades. And the multi showed 3 to 7 points even when vulnerable.
Yes, that's exactly the same I play. 4 to 7 though, rather than 3 to 7. But that's a detail. So yes, that would be 2 diamonds for me. Yes, I'm a senior, you know, Adam. So I need 4. Can't do it with 3.
Queen Jack 10 and out. That's not enough.
Well, I could upgrade, of course. But basically, it's 4 to 7.
Well, if you play that, then the West hand is just automatic. There's not much point writing 4 to 7 on your card and not earning Jack 10, 9 to 6 and an ace.
Oh no. At 5, no problem. Now, a spectator made an interesting observation that we have an entire family represented at the same time in the World Championships. The Rosenbergs, Michael playing in the Open, Debbie in the Transnational, and Kevin, the son, in the Youth. Absolutely, yes, it's interesting, but it's not unique. We've seen it before, not with the Rosenbergs, but can you guess it, guys?
Rim stats?
Yes.
Yeah, there's about a dozen rim stats there.
Yeah, that's right. And there's one more. And one of them now also still playing in the Open. Is that a hint? In the other match?
The Moss family has had a few before.
Yeah, but at the same time. I'm referring to the Bessis. We have Thomas Bessis, and at the same time, earlier, we had the mother, Veronique, and the father, Michel.
Yeah, it's not uncommon to have these bridge royalty kind of families.
Perhaps I should have insisted that my son learnt to play the game.
Yes, he would probably make it to the team.
Well, of course, Boje Brogeland's son is an infant prodigy at the game, and I think played in the junior team for Norway when he was only 10.
Now look at this. 3 no-trumps bid and made in the other room. I can count 5 club tricks and 2 spades, 7. The king of diamonds is on side, that's 8. And can you not build a heart trick even? Let's see, can you defeat it at all? You can set up a heart trick for declarer first, and then they have enough tricks. Then declarer has 8 tricks. And East was on lead. Did he not lead a heart? Let's look.
He led a spade, which it seems like should be enough to set it too.
Looks like the claim was wrong. The play record shows that they were 1 down.
It does. And that's very unfortunate. We shall have to look at running scores to see if this is true.
He was off all the way through with the predictor saying 2 down. and in the end he just cashed his tricks and exited, and they took him 1 down, so that score is wrong. It's the usual thing when they just claim at the end. They just toss their cards in and the view graph operator has to guess whether declarer had the last trick. In fact, the last trick was West's 10 of hearts over declarer's 9. So the view graph operator couldn't see what's going on and assumed that North, the declarer, had the last trick.
Yes, the lead was the Queen of Spades in the other room. That was allowed to hold, and East switched to a low diamond, one with the king in dummy. But I can still only see 8 tricks.
Right, I've got a private message that says comments in the lobby explain how it made. And official scorecard says making.
Yeah, I got a message that the defense aired when Pepsi played for one down, but then West discarded the 10 of hearts, so he was down to the stiff ace, so they couldn't take the heart tricks.
Sorry, I jumped out foolishly thinking the lobby comments might be visible to me, but they weren't, of course, as I wasn't in that room. So what did I miss you saying, Roland?
That West discarded the 10 of hearts. He took all his tricks, but that West discarded the 10 of hearts, and then they couldn't take 2 heart tricks. At what point did West throw the 10 of hearts?
Well, that's a key board, and it's a shame. We know very well the problems that view graph operators face, particularly when the last few tricks may be played incredibly rapidly when the players know what's going on. But it means the archive will not show it.
It's about to figure out a way to automate capturing the play, whether it's cameras or cards with chips in them. But what we have now is unacceptable. I appreciate how hard the operators work and how hard their job is, but this is not good enough.
Well, true. Of course, David knows that I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I have to say that we have a tie now in the match between Sweden and England in the women's.
Right, I have an explanation of what happened on 19. Thanks very much to Kibitzer. At trick 12, East had a winning spade and a losing diamond. West had a winning heart and a diamond. Instead of playing a winning heart and diamonds, instead of playing a diamond to West, East cashed the winning spade and West then threw the wrong card.
Well, it just goes to show you Meckwell's strategy works pretty well. You bid close games and put the opponents under pressure to beat you.
Yes. Well, if they are capable of doing that, then you're going to beat them anyway. That's another way of looking at it. So take a bit of time to play it through. With now we know exactly what happened at the end, thanks to the Kibitz ceremony, thanks to him. So then only then will we be able to judge whether East should have crossed to his partner's 2 winners, or whether West should have kept the right card at the end. An amazing hand anyway. Glad we got to the bottom of it with help from the Kibitzers.
We do, but others can't see that, David, when they go to the archives eventually. They will be wondering what happened. Was that meant for the table, David? Maybe it was.
Yes, it's to get it into the archive.
I see. Oh, right. Yes, yes, but they kept... Oh, did you go to the other table to write the same thing there?
No.
I don't know if they noticed.
Too much trouble. But anyway, I think at least we got a record somewhere, yeah.
So I guess the director's at the table. That's what the holdup is. The 2-heart bid was alerted as showing spades. Maybe Gru's saying that kept him from competing in spades.
Oh, I see. He does have spades. Now, David, it still doesn't make sense to me. Sorry, going back to that hand. How can East have a winning spade? West can have a winning spade, but not East. I mean, East started with Queen 8.
Right. Well, there's a typo in the guy's explanation in that case. But he had some winner. He could have put partner in with a heart, yeah, to cash the spade. And he cashed a diamond winner instead. We can work it out anyway. Be pretty bizarre on this auction for 2 hearts to show spades anyway, seeing as West had surely implied them.
From bad to worse for Bulgaria. They gave 3 no trumps, and the next hand they bid 6 spades, 1 down.
It's not the worst slam I've ever seen, but it's not particularly good.
Have you been in worse, Adam?
I have been in significantly worse, yes.
Welcome to the club. I think I could beat you. because I once was in 7 hearts off the ace of hearts.
Well, shouldn't give dangerous toys to children. I mean, shouldn't be playing Roman keycard Blackwood, Roland.
Well, I once had Trump split 8-4 against me, so.
That was unlucky. Could there have been 6-6?
Yeah, that was just a bad split. Nothing you can do when Trumps don't break. So, yeah, they play 2 clubs as a game-forcing relay here, and I don't know what all of their relay stuff is, but I'm sure they'll get a good sense of what the East hand looks like.
The first session yesterday was sad to watch because New Zealand had achieved exceeded everyone's expectations. It was a miracle they got into the top 8, then they beat the world-class Netherlands team. And then right from the start of the semi-final they underperformed and fell behind badly and had 2 more bad sessions, and they're now 100 down. Well, just hoping that we don't bring similar bad luck to the Bulgarians, who have been equally wonderful in getting this far and holding USA2. But this session is very reminiscent of the first one yesterday. Imps leaking away where they didn't need to. Let's hope they can get back to top form pretty smartly. Sure Adam agrees with me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. These 2 pairs have played the vast majority of the boards for Bulgaria, so you wonder whether fatigue is starting to set in. It's a long tournament.
Well, absolutely, yes. They have a 3rd pair, but they haven't played much. They played exactly 7 matches in the round robin, 1/3. That's what they have to play. And I don't think they played at all yesterday. And not now either.
I think they played the first match yesterday.
The first set, you mean? In that case, they would have to play 1 more set, right?
I think that's what I saw in the results.
Right. But do we have Nanev and Karakolev in the other room? David, you've been there?
Yes, Mihalov and Karakolev.
Yes. Yeah, sorry, Mihalov. Yes. So they played only 1, so they have to play another then. I'm talking about Yanova and Aronov.
So I have no idea what all of the bidding here means, but all of West bids are just asking bids.
I'm asked to explain the bidding, but I can't. I'm sorry. I don't know the system in detail. You see, the King of Clubs is a wasted card. If West had the Queen of Diamonds instead of the King of Clubs, he would only have 13 points instead of 14, and then the slam would be okay. Virtually cold.
Since they stopped in 4 spades, okay, well done.
Yeah, it should be a good hand for their system. West will have a good set. He'll know East exact distribution pretty quickly, and he'll know that there's the singleton club opposite, which is not very good. I'm not a huge fan of relay systems, but on some hands they work very, very well.
What's your guess as to how much he knows about his spade suit?
I'm guessing that he knows that there's at least 6 spades and a singleton club.
And diamond support?
I doubt it, but it's possible.
One spade is of course limited to 15 high cut points, but that was also the case in the other room, so there's no difference there.
It's possible that the 2 diamond bid showed a maximum, that they show strength first. It's been a while since I played something similar to what they're doing.
Well, he certainly showed a maximum in the other room when he jumped to 3 spades. Natural 2 diamonds, game forcing, and now it jumped to 3 spades.
Then it went 4 clubs double, and East bid 4 hearts. Well, he had the chance to pass, and then partner could have told him that he didn't have the ace of clubs, because he would redouble with the ace and bid something else otherwise. But East took the opportunity to cupid 4 hearts without running it round, which seems to be a mistake. Partner then signed off in 4 spades, and now East just blackwood into 6, which seems that he was punting a bit, and also missed the chance to find out which club honor West has, so it doesn't look very impressive by Bermuda Bowl semi-final standards.
It's amazing to me how often a bad result on one board gets compounded by a mistake on the next board. I'm trying to make up for it.
Well, basically Declarer needed to find South with the Queen and Jack of Diamonds, it seems. Can't afford to give up a diamond with the Ace of Clubs missing. But if South had led the Ace of Clubs, that would set up the King for a diamond discard, and Declarer could then have made it, couldn't he? Because he could have... Oh no, the diamonds were 4-1, but if they were 3-2 and trumps 2-2, he could rough the diamonds good and get back with Ace and Queen of trumps. Well, it wasn't a good stand, but there was some tiny play.
Now the Ace of Clubs was led in the other room against 6, and the cutter could still not make. Well, unless South switches to a heart, of course. So he's not going to after the heart cubid.
Would you have dared say that if they hadn't yet played it, with our record for commentators' curse?
Yeah, once Norse doubled 4 clubs, David, I think I would stay away from the heart lead. And once East cubids 4 hearts, I think I would stay away from a heart switch. Now 31-1 here after 5 boards, after 7 boards in the Venice Cup match between Sweden and England. It's even worse for one team because the score is 54-1. I think you've all guessed that Sweden has made an amazing comeback. Sweden up by 23 now.
So I got an explanation of the auction on the previous board if anyone is interested. The 2 clubs is a relay, and 2 diamonds showed a maximum, and then 3 diamonds showed 6 or 7 spades, and 4 diamonds showed 7-3-2-1 or 7-3-3-0 with short diamonds, and then 4 hearts just forced him to bid 4 spades for a sign-off.
Yeah, you mean short clubs.
Yeah, sorry, short clubs.
Well, that's brilliant, Adam. Thanks very much. I can use that in my write-up tomorrow. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So I was actually pretty close on the amount of information that he had. He had 6 or 7 spades and short, whatever he had, short clubs, and a max.
Yes, I understand that he treated his hand as a maximum, Adam. But he would also treat his hand as maximum if he had the Queen of Diamonds. In which case a slam is good, right?
That's true.
When you said 7-3-2-1, does that mean 3 hearts and 2 diamonds, or maybe 2 hearts and 3 diamonds?
I believe it's any 7-3-2-1 with short diamonds. Short clubs, sorry.
But didn't you say
Right.
that it could even be 7-3-3 void?
Correct. It's a 7-card
Yes.
suit with short clubs. And no side 4-card suit.
Yes, but when you were guessing, you also said that he wouldn't have shown if he had 3-card support for diamonds, and you were right about that as well, so your prediction was entirely correct.
Yes, because at no point did his partner ever show diamonds, so there's no such thing as support in this auction. He's just patterning out, describing his hand.
Of course, yes. It's also strange for us, isn't it, if we've never played a relay system. Good point.
Yeah, the things you generally need to know quickest are long suits and short suits, and so that's what most of these relays focus on.
Well, in the other room, East-West competed to the 3 level in hearts. Not a success, obviously, although you have a fit. West didn't even know they had a fit. It was a very bold 3 hearts, I think. Partner couldn't bid anything over 2 clubs. So the auction was similar. One spade, two clubs, raised to three clubs, and now West bid again. Grew did not. And Grew is a very aggressive bidder.
Yes, but that red paint on the board is the great equalizer.
Well, it's true, but if the odds did favour finding a fit, then I mean that might be a vulnerable game there. But the thing is, the Moss had a pretty decent hand for not finding any action over two clubs. Trouble was the king of clubs was useless, and well, he had some useful cards. He had the queen of spades, so I mean it was just too much to bid three hearts, wasn't it? It's the sort of thing that you might bid on a 16, 17 count, and West queen of diamonds was a dubious card, so the odds didn't favour it.
No, that was my point, really. I mean, if West had king queen to five spades and a low doubles and in diamonds, then there's a case, obviously. But that queen is just in the wrong suit, isn't it?
Yes, and we've also seen how free people are with their negative doubles on fairly moderate hands. So when partner doesn't make a negative double, and you know it can't really be because he's got a stack with them bidding and raising clubs, then he may have nothing much of value, and you're floating one trick short of game on a very modest hand in front of your own eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. The hand you're hoping for, where you have this magic heart fit that makes a game, you need partner to have 4 or 5 hearts, and he probably would have taken a call with that hand.
Yeah, but you need a bit more. But you're right in the sense that you need partner with 4 or 5 hearts and an outside card, ace of clubs or
right,
ace
and
of spades.
that hand is an easy negative double.
Was the hand after they bid that very much against the odds, failing 6 spades, so what you said before, Adam, may have come into play, that they were tempted to just go a little over the normal boundaries, trying to get some points back.
Yeah, it's very much human nature, I think, when things are going poorly, to just try to do a little bit more, to try to be a little bit more active. And it's usually an instinct that you want to try to curb if you can.
Well, David, you said earlier that you don't think that New Zealand will concede after this set. They'll play another number 5. Well, that may not be the case after all. France now leading by 130. If I'm 130, BB harder. I think I've had enough. How about you, David?
Well, I was just going to say, it seems that all 4 sets have been identical, really. They've just lost by something like 40 to 10. This one isn't over yet, but I mean, really their spirit has been lost, understandably, and we mustn't just remember them for what happened in the semi-final. It's still been the best ever effort by a New Zealand team in world play, and it was a fabulous success for them, the whole tournament. Eventually the high jump bar was raised too high and they knocked it off, but so what? well played to them.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm in my first Bermuda Bowl semifinal and I've got a young team, I would be inclined to keep playing and get the experience, but you know, there comes a point where it's just not helpful anymore.
Yeah, I've heard about this board in the Sweden-England match, where England went 5 down in 3 no-chops, and the Swedes made 2 over tricks in the same contract. Now that was extremely well done. I suppose 3 no-chops was played by West. Well, that was extremely well done by North, not to lead a heart. And of course, if you lead a diamond, then you will take 6 hearts and 3 diamonds.
Well, if they've shown something like 7 club tricks, then you wouldn't want to lead the Queen of Hearts round to the King and declare it would only need 1 more trick, so it depends how the bidding's gone, what you decide to lead.
Yes, yes. But I'm told that the lead was the King of Diamonds at both tables. Is that really right? But if the lead was the King of Diamonds at both tables, why would you not defeat the contract?
Well, if you get it wrong at trick 2, you still got a chance.
Well, exactly. So Norse must have switched. Ah, but on the official page I see the lead of the Queen of Hearts against Sweden.
Probably was not from one of our top ranking players, one might think.
Well, I think it was actually, David.
Ah, well, glad to hear it in a way then.
Yes, and Bulgaria really need a swing here to come back, you know. That will really be great for them. In the singles match between Sweden and USA, Sweden went 5 down in 3 no-chops, that is.
Well, I think it's
Well,
quite a difficult lead to find a diamond. They've led a spade. I can see leading a heart. There's no hint of really long clubs, is there? So there you go. Your partner isn't favourite to hold the ace of diamonds for a start.
no, no. Well, it's an amazing board, really. When you look at the Open, you look at the Venice Club, you look at the seniors. It was down 5 in the seniors was board in the USA-Sweden match.
Yeah, it could actually be a winning board, because North-South can make 4 hearts.
What a good point, and that makes 4 no trumps a pretty special bid by Grew, doesn't it? Well done to him.
Yeah, even if it goes down, it's a good sacrifice.
Well,
Right.
we're getting some good boards in this match anyway.
Well, indeed. It's suggested by Kibitzer that South should have bid 4 diamonds rather than 4 hearts over 3 no trumps.
That would have been a
But
good
then they
bid.
probably wouldn't get, then they wouldn't get to 4 no trumps, would they?
I would love to be in 4 no trump there, have them find the lead, and go down 6, and come back and win 1 on the board. Thank you, teammates.
Probably was hoping to win more than 1 for his 630.
Do they play two-way Stamen here, Adam? Do you know? Is 2 diamonds game forcing Stamen or just what? He doesn't have any majors.
I do not know what they do here. I'm guessing it's a general game force.
Right.
Two-way Stamen, I thought the world had abandoned about 30, 40 years ago.
Oh no.
Anyway,
Some still
he's reading
play
2
that.
spades. Well, it stops you using transfer, so I'm to stop me using it.
Now, some who play a weak no trump, David, still use it.
Well, it's a shockingly weak system anyway, and whether you play strong or weak no trumps is irrelevant. The power of the transfer response is the best convention over the last 50 years for loads of reasons, and just because one of them may not apply with quite such strength on certain strengths of the responding hand doesn't change my opinion of the matter, really. I feel so strongly.
A lot of pairs that use a relay structure in some auctions like to adopt that as their general philosophy, and so they apply it in all auctions, including 1 no trump auctions. So I'm guessing that they don't want to give up 2 clubs at Stamen, but they're willing to give up the transfer in order to have a relay structure here so that they can shape out the opener.
Yes, they're exchanging an advantage on the weak hands where you might want to play in 2 hearts facing 1 no trump, with the big possible diamond slams in the semi-final of the Bermuda Bowl.
Yeah, so my guess is that within a few bids, Moss will know that Grew is 5-4-2-2 with diamond hearts.
Right. I know a little more now about the system. 2 diamonds is a transfer to 2 hearts or the start of a forcing sequence. And 2 spades is a super accept for hearts. And then I don't know more.
Yeah, so they play transfers, but they build the second option into the 2 diamond transfer. So usually it would go 2 diamonds, 2 hearts, and then a 2 spade bid by responder would kind of cancel the transfer and say, I don't actually have hearts, I'm a strong hand.
Yeah, it's actually on the card. two diamonds is either 5 or more hearts or strong with both majors. Minors. And that's indeed what Moss has. B, the B version.
So it's actually not a relay auction at all. I was wrong. Two spades is just a super accept, and three clubs says, nope, I have the minor's hand. And Gru said, okay, I have diamond support.
Well, we used to play that sort of thing 40 years ago. Two diamonds was taken as a transfer, but if it went two hearts, two spades, then that became sort of barren, looking for a 4-card fit in the minor. And the opener had the chance to bid a 5-card minor, or to bid 2 no trumps, and then you could look for the 4-4 minor fit. So they've probably adopted this method from the Chandler's Ford school of bidding 40 years ago.
So this is 15 opposite 16 with a great diamond fit. And obviously now slam is good. It wasn't on 21, but slam is very good here.
Do you probably need the club finesse?
Yeah, you do. Unless you get a hard lead, David. So we get with the hard lead.
Well, he bid diamonds
Oh,
first.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So this slam is a little better than the earlier one, but it's still not amazing. Basically on a finesse.
Yes, on a finesse.
So 4 hearts was a key card ask. 5 diamonds is 2 with.
Yeah, must be 2 with, and not just 2 keys. $9.20 at both tables in the seniors match between Sweden and USA.
So Moss knows they have all the key cards, and he's thinking, is it possible the crew has the right hand where they can take 13 tricks, but he figured out, no.
Well, I think it's well bid. You can see that if West had as little as the Jack of Hearts more, then it would be one of 2 finesses. And I certainly agree with Bill Jacobs that it's a pretty good piece of system, isn't it? That you don't have to give up 2 done transfer. You can just add a bit on top of it that switches you back into a different mode entirely, and then start looking for minor suit fits and use 4 hearts, the bid over 4 of the trump suit as a cheaper version of Roman key card. Redwood, some people call it. Or
I'm asked, if you play 15-17 no trump, would you also open 1 no trump with 5-4-2-2? I would, especially with this hand, when I have 5 diamonds and 4 hearts. Because the problem is that if I open a diamond and partner responds a spade, I don't have a rebid. So it's much better to open 1 no trump in my view, and I think my co-commentators agree.
100%.
Well, 2 spades looks normal. I'm not sure about 3 spades. You know, in the other room, Lord raised 2 spades. And then West bid again, 3 hearts. I don't know whether you should bid 3 spades now, because I mean, partner could easily have 4 hearts. He could even have 5.
Yeah, the 3 heart bid in the other room seems like a lot to me. So here he's chosen to double.
well, the double is better, isn't it? Because you know your partner's got a few points and he hasn't raised the heart, so he's got a most doubleton heart and may have a long minor, so that double is that's a good bid, I think. Although the diamond, finding the diamond fit may not be rewarded.
Yeah, I'm guessing 2 no trump here is Lebensol or something like that. Showing a weaker hand.
They're all doubling now. But West is not going to give preference. He'll rebid his hearts, and no one is going to double that. Oh, there you go. Commentator's curse again. Curse. It's always the heart suit, David. For me at least, and it was for you also the other day. It's always the heart suit. just a curse, you know.
Well, I mean, he must be thinking of it as a... It's always the hearts here, yeah. And maybe he's hoping that he's going to get some roughs and a diamond lead. But I mean, that looks all pretty dodgy, that double with the hearts under the bidder. I think, although Moss would have run into a 5-0 fid, I don't see why he's not willing to bid 3 diamonds. Heaven's sake, partner's made a take-out double, and you've only got 2 hearts and 5 diamonds. You don't need to use late sol once you've passed over 2 spades, surely.
Just as well I didn't get the chance of going wrong, because I was going to stick my neck out again to see that Norse will not sit for it. He's going to pull to 3 spades. But fortunately...
You're not doing well on this board, Roland.
No. I'd better go back to that.
I don't think the players are doing very well on it either. I don't like redouble on the North cards. That's meant to show some defensive values. He's only got the king of diamonds. And South's penalty double of 3 hearts. Well, I mean, East doesn't have heart support, and West still went over the 2 minors. I mean, so he must have good hearts.
And I really don't understand the 2-no trump bid. I mean, there's no reason to play Lebensol, especially when North has redoubled. I would use 2-no trump as scrambling if I had 4-4 in the minors or something. But with 5-2 in the minors, I don't understand. I would just bid my diamonds.
Oh, that's too simple.
Yeah.
They'll do that. Well, now they can psych a redouble against you, Adam.
Oh, of course they can't psych a redouble. If this guy had psyched and now his partner had ended up doubling 3 hearts. Anyway, perhaps you've got some news for me, Roland, of what's happening in the England match.
No, I suppose you have, because you want me to look to see that England...
Well, I heard all the gory details of them being 50 down, but they're now only 5 behind. So.
I didn't say 50 down at any point.
In this set.
It was never more.
50 down in this set.
They were.
Well, we can say that they're playing with fire anyway. So what if it goes 1 down if they make all the right moves? I think when it's a part score board and you're playing against vulnerable opponents representing the USA, and your queen to 4 trumps lie under the very strong heart suit, I mean, isn't that not a very good time for an imp double? Probably you're going to lose a pound in weight as you eventually get it 1 off, and just pick up an extra 100. Might have been cold all along. True, if it was allowed to make, that South could say he didn't think much of North's defensive values for the redouble, because that's what a redouble shows. It shows you haven't got anything extra in terms of playing strength, which you've already defined anyway by bidding 2 spades, but you've got a lot of high cards, and a king, 2 jacks and a queen doesn't seem up to it. Sometimes you bid 2 spades on 9 or 10, don't you?
I would still not double 3 hearts at imps, David.
No, I agree with you. Neither would I. If you go plus on a part score board, that's okay. I mean, we were saying that West had pushed it out a bit to double over two spades, so he might have had a better hand. I know that then in that case North would definitely not have a redouble, but still. It's always very dangerous making penalty doubles with your trumps under the bidder, and that's why I'm wondering if South hoped by some miracle that because South had passed two spades he couldn't have a particularly good hand, and perhaps he was hoping for Barton to read the double as Leitner.
Yeah, Harry, this is one down. Phew. But at long last, a decent board for Bulgaria. 200 plus 50, well, 6 imps.
I have had very little success making doubles that I wanted a partner to interpret as Leitner doubles.
At the 3 level, yeah, very tricky.
Yeah, for sure at the 3 level.
I mean, usually it happens when you've opened with a preempt. You open 3 clubs and then you double 4 hearts or something, and it's pretty obvious you don't have a penalty double on a preempt hand, so then partner can start looking for your shortage. Heaven's sake, this is doubling them into game as well, wow. Yeah, Bill is saying it's surprising 3 spades went down at the other table, but I've just played it through and he's got some roughs. Declare never drew trumps. So there's been quite a lot of things for them to think about in these boards, but they still have managed only 9 boards in 1 hour 40. So they may come under time pressure. They're running ahead of us at the other table. South opened 4 spades at the other table. Hard to imagine any other action.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Well, it isn't a missed slam, so you don't want to be in slam, obviously. South has what, 6 losers? Yeah, it will probably be 3 spades for Bill. Well, Bill might count it as like 5.5 losers and still open 4.
on a hand like that, you're not really worrying about describing your hand perfectly. You've got something like 7 tricks if you choose trumps, 1 if you don't, and it's absolutely obvious to preempt as high as possible.
Well, you know, Bill has mellowed over the years. There was a time where he refused to lead a trump. But since, he has seen the light, and sometimes he will lead a trump.
When your partners advertise very strong suits and you want to pull the trumps before declarer can start taking roughs in his hand. Six clubs to open 2 clubs, or at any rate he does when he's got 3 diamonds. He's happy to bid a diamond instead.
Yeah, the American style is certainly for the 2-club bid to promise 6.
Indeed. Also played
Right.
by Meckwell and Greco Hampson.
It all
6.
trickles down from Meckwell. They really revolutionized the precision club in the States, and basically everyone who plays it today plays some variant of what they do.
So, tell us about 1 no trump.
So my guess is that it's a game forcing, artificial game force. A lot of us would rebid 1 no trump with a balanced hand, even with 4 spades, and so the 1 spade bid probably shows an unbalanced hand, in which case you don't really need 1 no trump as natural, and so a lot of people use it as like a check back sort of bid. That's my guess.
Well, isn't that disappointing for our Bulgarian supporters who saw 1 no trump and hoped that they might not bid game?
Now this question, what system is better, 2/1 or precision? My answer is yes. But you know what I mean. I mean, they're both good systems. So it's just a matter of preference, really.
Yeah, absolutely. They both have strengths and they both have weaknesses. The big strength of a natural system like 2/1 is getting your suits bid immediately, and the big weakness of the strong club system is the one diamond opening where you have no idea what's going on. But the strength of the strong club system is the limited opening bids, and that's the big weakness of 2/1 is there's a lot of awkward hands in the 16, 17, 18, 19 point range that are hard to handle.
Well, you should just play Get Silly, obviously.
Silly makes a big difference. It makes 2/1 a much better system.
I don't think most players who take up 2/1 realise how difficult bidding certain hands can be. With all bids being forcing, it's not so easy to show extra strength. And I'm sure you're right about Gazilli plugging a huge gap, but it's very difficult to discover if you've both got a little bit extra, and that's going to add up to a slam. And of course the serious, non-serious three-note trumps is another important addition with exactly the same aim.
Yes, for sure. So three-note trump here doesn't look too taxing. He's got 4 more club tricks. He'll get a diamond trick eventually, take a losing heart finesse, but that'll set up a 9th trick.
But the Swedish women went down in three-note trumps when Norse led the Queen of Diamonds. It really puzzles me. The other table is made, but played by East, and the lead was the King of Spades. Who on earth would lead the King of Spades?
I didn't know Zia was on the Swedish ladies team.
No, he failed some test they made. I don't know what it was.
Well, that's an imaginative lead. It could absolutely work. Not today.
Well, I'm told Nicholas Smith ducked the King of Spades lead, and then later dropped the Queen of Clubs to make 11 tricks. Also that a Chinese lady also led the King of Spades. What event would that be in?
The same, the other semi-final in the Venice Cup.
The other semi-final, they also led the King of Spades. Wow.
Yeah, I guess his big issue here is entries. He can take the heart finesse, but if it doesn't work, it's not clear he's ever getting back to his hand for his two hearts.
Yes, North can control the diamond suit, make sure he doesn't get over to the 10 of diamonds. Other table there was a heart lead, club finesse lost and a heart back.
Well, the lead of the King of Spades against 3-no trumps was made by Ida Grönqvist from Sweden. Not successful here, as Adam pointed out, but maybe she thought, well, the other day I led a spade from 9 Doubleton, and that was the killing lead against 3-no trumps, so I'd better try a spade again.
See how it was made. The other table was a heart lead to the 10 and one of the middle honours. Club finesse lost and a heart came back. The other middle honour was put onto the king, and now South persisted with the suit into what was in fact ace-8 tennis, and that gave 9 tricks.
But hey, how do you get 9 tricks now? If that was the play, if we went up with the ace of hearts to play clubs, I can't see a way to 9 tricks with the King of Spades being offside. Yes, the diamond lead was very good, and that was found by Fiona Brown for England.
And now he can make it again.
Yes, he can. Wow.
Defense is so tough. I mean, they had done everything right. Declare had not gotten the hand perfect, and it still wasn't clear.
No.
Well, wasn't the mistake putting up the diamond on her?
Well, that was the issue, wasn't it? Is that he created an entry for declarer. But they were still okay, were they not? I mean, as long as he hadn't played a heart, setting up a heart trick.
Right, if they had set up their spade trick instead. But that's almost impossible for him to see, I think. It certainly looks like he needs his partner's trying to get him on lead to put another heart through.
But I agree with Bill. I think it was an error. I mean, he was looking at the jack of spades. That's a very good point, Bill. He could just have exited in diamonds.
Shame for them, because one more swing back and it would have been that much closer. And really the defence had been quite helpful at the other table, so they had the chance not to try and stay on the tightrope right till the end of the 13 tricks. Very difficult, as always.
Forgot to count the defensive tricks. As Bill says, he had it down in his own hand.
Well, this match is eerily reminiscent of the quarterfinal match with Bulgaria and USA1, where Bulgaria had a lead at the beginning and then USA1 came back, and we all know what happened in that one. So don't count the Bulgarians out.
Pretty amazing that they should climb as high as 3 hearts. At the other table it was pass a diamond by east, a spade by south, conventional 2 clubs by west, whatever that meant, 2 hearts to show a sound raise, and east now bid 3 hearts. So 2 clubs, doesn't seem like west has got any sort of bid at all, but must have indicated 4 hearts for east to go to 3 hearts.
I don't think I've ever encountered that 2 club bid showing 4 hearts.
No, that's what it does show though, because the operator has tagged an explanation on. He just says 4 plus hearts plus question mark. Well, that's a mistake. It should have been 4 plus hearts minus minus question mark.
Right, and then north Q bid hearts to show a good spade raise. So clearly they knew it was hearts. It's just an odd treatment. I've never seen that.
But could it be that it showed clubs and hearts, and that two diamonds would show diamonds and hearts?
That's certainly possible.
We don't know that. It's possible.
Well, Moss hasn't done so well in 1-0 Trump here. He's 0 for 5 in the first 5 tricks.
He will get some tricks eventually, but probably not 7. Nah, 1 down. But flat board, they'll take that.
Okay, bets on whether South opens 1-0 Trump. I'm saying yes.
Are you? I'm saying no.
So would you rebid 2 diamonds then, David, if you own 1 diamond and get a 1 spade from partner? Surely
No,
you're not going to
open a
reverse.
precision club.
Oh, I see. So apparently for the majors, 1 no.
Now North will either pass or double, probably depending whether the pass is 0 to 4 or 0 to 5. Not a very good 5 count though, is it?
Awkward contract in the other room on a 4-3 fit. South did open a strong no trump in the 3rd seat. West bid the majors, 2 clubs, and East gave preference with 2 spades, and now South doubled. South doubled, take out, and there they were. So I had to bid 3 clubs.
Three spades seems like a lot to me with King Jack 3rd and Doubleton in partner suits.
Yes, and length in the minors too, so he would be happy defending if whatever South bid over 2 spades perhaps.
He must be pretty confident of 5-5. I mean, if he's showing majors, a lot of people have potentially only 4 spades and 5 hearts.
That's one point. Also, even if partner does have 5 spades, maybe 2 spades will be enough to get you a plus score.
Yeah, 3 spades is much more likely to buy the pot than 2 spades, but it's not clear it's a pot you want to buy.
Yeah, good way of putting it.
So I'd imagine Declare is going to try to set up his hearts, probably roughing once or twice if he can.
Well, as it is, he only needs 1 rough. We can take a club finesse, and then he has 9 tricks, right? With only 1 rough.
I doubt he's going to take a club finesse.
See, if North-South had played it in 3 diamonds, the leader.
True. But as long as you don't know who took the time, it doesn't really matter. I mean, in a knockout match, I mean, you can give them penalty of 10 imps each. Big deal.
I am a proponent of corporal punishment for slow play.
What, are you volunteering to administer it?
Absolutely. I'll start chopping off pinkies.
Well, with that sort of attitude, you should have been a tournament director.
I cannot abide these, 5-10 minute tanks that they go into as a spectator, as a player. I just can't stand it. Well, I think we need to do something about it.
Well, I just said they'd spend ages on board 31. I just flipped over to look what was happening, and only the opening lead was visible on the table. So I hope that table hasn't crashed.
Nope, they're still playing. It just took a while in the auction.
Oh, the bidding was slow, I see. Wow. But I mean, it's at least 10 minutes just on the bidding then.
So it looks like North-South got to the inferior 3-no trump on this hand.
Yes, East didn't open. It went a heart, a spade, 2 hearts, and now North bid 2 spades, which is marked in yellow. Let me see what the operator's telling us. Right, it's only marked as a blank. South then bid 2 no trumps, raised to 3 no trumps, so that's a bit strange.
It was a flat board in the
King of Diamonds
match.
was led.
Go on, David.
No, just saying the King of Diamonds was led, so they took the first 5 tricks, yeah.
There was a flat board in the Sweden-England match, but that was in 4 hearts. 11 tricks at both tables, hearts.
So now an imaginative club lead is not required.
Well, they did well here. Sorry, I should have said 4 spades. Flat board in 4 spades in the women's match.
That makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
So that 2 hearts, 2 no trumps and 3 no trumps are all flagged as conventional.
Yes, I'm curious about the auction. So the heart finesse here rates to be on with the opening bid and the lack of a diamond opening lead. They open pretty light when they're not vulnerable, so there's certainly no guarantee that the King of Hearts is onside, but once he doesn't lead a high diamond, he probably doesn't have the ace-king, and the 10 of clubs lead showing the jack denying the queen puts that card in Gru's hand too. So he's a virtual lock to have the King of Hearts here, unless he just totally psyched the 1 diamond opener.
But if they stop the diamond ruff, then you're forced to finish the Queen of Hearts anyway. But it's a good point about the diamond not being led, which he would have done from ace-king. And of course, probably he's not got the Queen of Clubs on that lead.
Mas plays the king of hearts there on the second round, the mandatory false card. That's the card he's known to hold. There's no point in playing the jack. It's not going to matter. So a nice pickup for Bulgaria there. They got to the better spot. And the Bulgarian less offender made a great king of diamonds lead with not that much information to go on. So all around a good result for them. So two diamonds is multi, and two spades is usually pass if you have spades, and bid hearts if you have hearts. I guess he's pretty sure his partner doesn't have queen, jack, 10, 6 of spades. Seems dangerous to me. Maybe they do something unusual.
Yeah, it must be different, because with a vulnerable two-heart bid, he might have good hearts, and you've just got good chance of the heart game.
Yeah, we used to play two spades as poo, pass or August. So if you had spades, you'd pass, but if you had hearts, you would answer August.
That's a good method.
Mostly because we like saying we played poo.
Well, a lot of people do, don't they?
Yeah, but they don't admit it. So it looks like they're playing something similar to that, where three clubs probably showed a minimum with hearts.
Right, I want to be sure to save the last board, so I'm going to have to nip over to the other table.
I guess it's just conceivable that partner vulnerable has enough for a slam to make. If he's got solid hearts or king, queen, jack with the ace of diamonds or something like that, so it's worth asking. So then get a spade ruff here to hold this thing. But with the ace of diamonds on side, no more issues.
But an imp. Now, Adam said that slam beyond. Are you saying that you would open a weak two with king, queen, jack to 6 hearts and an outside ace?
Vulnerable against not, sure.
That's an accord too.
I mean,
well, surely that's one heart.
Well, I mean, the difference for me between a white against red week 2 bid and a red against white is night and day. It's to the point I won't even write ranges in in the little box for what a week 2 looks like, because they're totally different bids in my opinion. First
right.
seat white against red.
This is a very interesting bidding board, so I'm just going to quickly make the acknowledgements. We're very grateful for the view graph operator. Sorry that the name is not displayed, so we don't know who it was, but they've done a great job for us. Many thanks to many thanks to Roland and to Adam. We've had a good time together. Many thanks to the great dealer, because he's given us a splendid selection of boards with plenty of swings, plenty of points of interest. And many thanks to you all for coming along to watch in such high numbers. And many thanks to BBO for providing this wonderful platform. And the bidding at the other table, just as here, they're probably going to finish neck and neck, and just about within the time schedule.
Yeah. Now, 6 clubs is a pretty good contract played by North, isn't it? Just look at the North-South cards. Would you want to be in 6 clubs?
6 diamonds is fine too, I think. Well, that's on a hook. Clubs is better. So two diamonds is the 1 diamond bid I think they play could be 0. So 2 diamonds is basically forcing for 1 round. And I'm guessing that the 2 no trump shows short diamonds.
Yeah. England bids 5. And we don't have a result from the other room. They made an overtrick. So this could be a swing for Sweden in the women's. But before that board, it's Sweden by 1. Very interesting. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Goodbye for now.
Bye.
Dear.